This is John Rohde with the Oklahoman. Welcome to the final edition of my preseason college football top 25 rankings. All that remain are numbers 5 through number 1. Without further ado, here we go. Number 5 is Mississippi. About as fast as you can count to 5 Mississippi. The Rebels, amazingly, are at number 5. It happened under warp speed under the direction of second-year coach Houston Nutt, who might get the full credit he deserves one of these days. Quarterback Javon Sneed is 1-0 as a 22-point underdog against Florida's Tim Tebow. The Gators don't face the Rebels in the regular season, but they sure could hook up for the SEC title. Mississippi has 3 All-American candidates in offensive tackle John Jerry, defensive tackle Ted Laurent, and defensive end Greg Hardy. The Rebels ranked 4th nationally against the rush and 4th in sacks last season. And with the so-called Wild Rebel offense, it's a perfect fit for the Nut House. The schedule agrees with Mississippi, which plays its toughest opponents at home. Number 4 is Southern Cal. The Trojans lost a quarterback to the first round of the pro draft. They also lost 4 linebackers, 2 defensive linemen, 2 defensive backs, a wideout, a kicker, all to the NFL. But like all great programs, USC doesn't rebuild. It reloads. Free safety Taylor Mays is one superstar who didn't leave early when he easily could have, and Damian Williams returns at wide receiver. Top quarterback candidate Aaron Corp injured his leg earlier this month, which bumped Matt Barkley and Mitch Mustain up one notch. Stephon Johnson, Joe McKnight, and C.J. Gable all return at the ridiculously deep running back position. USC has tough road games at Ohio State, California, and Oregon, and also plays at Notre Dame. The Trojans might lose a game or two, but still win the Pac-10 title. Number 3 is Texas. Quarterback Colt McCoy had some uncanny passing numbers last year and also was the team's leading rusher. A one-man show won it all for the Longhorns 4 years ago in Vince Young, but it's asking too much for McCoy to do the same. UT's offensive line is superb, its defense is solid, although without departed Brian Arakpo up front. A pitiful non-conference slate essentially leaves the Longhorns with a 2-game schedule, Oklahoma and Dallas on October 17th, and at Oklahoma State 2 weeks later. Other than that, Texas should cruise. You could flip a coin on who would win, Texas or OU. I flipped it twice. Both times the coin landed on its side, resulting in a tiebreaker. The Sooners won. Number 2 is Oklahoma. No team in the country has more offensive weapons than the Sooners, with quarterback and Heisman winner Sam Bradford, running backs DeMarco Murray and Chris Brown, tight end Jermaine Gresham, and receivers Ryan Broyles and Moses Madu. If the offensive line can hold its own, the Sooners could be more unstoppable than last year's group that scored 60-plus in 5 straight games after calling off the Dogs and scoring only 58 at Kansas State. Led by Gerald McCoy, OU's defensive front 7 is outstanding. There also are 2 great cover corners in Brian Jackson and Dominique Franks. If the safeties pull through, this could be the most complete team in the Bob Stoops era. Another trip to the national title game is in the works. Number 1, Florida. The Gators remain the national champs until somebody proves otherwise. It's a position they've earned and figure to earn again with a defense that is so thick and juicy. Not only do all 11 starters return, their entire 2-deep roster is back. Offensively, quarterback Tim Tebow goes for Heisman number 2 and national title number 3. Receiver Percy Harvin bolted to the NFL, as did fellow wideout Lewis Murphy and tight end Cornelius Ingram, but 7 starters return on the offense. Coach Urban Meyer sits atop his profession, able to deliver 2 national titles in his first 4 seasons. On paper, it seems unfair Florida should be so loaded, but the Gators endured a loss against Ole Miss and a scare from Alabama before advancing to last year's title game. Does danger lie ahead this season at LSU, against Georgia and Jacksonville, or in the SEC title game? Probably not, but there are no freebies in college football. Like before, the Gators will have to earn it. There you have it, my preseason top 25. Rearrange accordingly if you must.